ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton. This is actually my friend Chris's bottle.
Hey everybody.
So Chris is joining us today. He has a channel called Casual Fragrances. I'm going to leave a link to that down below. Definitely make sure to subscribe to him. Today we're going to be giving you our thoughts on this 2019 release by Louis Vuitton. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and we tell you all about Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton, possibly one of the freshest offerings that the brand has, I do want to start things off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. Hit that red button in the corner. Of course, Chris's channel's link is going to be down below. Hit the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to us. How's it going, Chris?
I'm doing okay. How you been, man?
I've been pretty good. It's always nice having you over. We smell a bunch of fragrances. We shoot some videos together, and it's just really nice to be able to connect with a like-minded individual and somebody who's just as passionate about fragrances, which doesn't happen very often, and I think we both know that.
You're right about that.
So Louis Vuitton is a brand that I've definitely been into for the past couple of years, although I haven't really purchased many of their fragrances. Of course, I've tried On the Beach and Meteor. I do own Meteor, Afternoon Swim, City of Stars, Sun Song, Cactus Garden, right?
Yeah,
so on and so forth. There's a lot of really nice offerings from the brand. Some have become hits. Other fragrances have become maybe not that popular and unfortunately discontinued or axed, or so I'm hearing. Well, today we have one that is really popular, and this one is called Afternoon Swim. So the notes for this one are bergamot, mandarin, orange, ginger, and ambergris. So we already have a pretty good vibe of how this is going to smell, especially considering the name of it, Afternoon Swim. It's going to be light, fresh, citrusy, summery, so on and so forth. What are your thoughts on the smell?
Oh my god. This fragrance is amazing. If you're looking for a fresh fragrance, just fresh and clean, you don't want like other stuff like sandalwood, patchouli-based fragrances. This is a fresh, clean fragrance. A man or woman could wear it. If you want a signature scent, this is it right here. The price is expensive, so please keep in mind they raise their prices at Louis Vuitton, which I know Steven probably leave the website down below. But anyway, it smells amazing for a fresh fragrance. If you like the note of bergamot, it's fresh, it's juicy, and I haven't found anybody that did not like this fragrance, which is a good thing.
I agree with that. It's very universally appealing, so it's hard to find somebody that dislikes it unless you don't like citrus fragrances, and that's also kind of an anomaly as well. For me, it does open up a little generic in the opening. So the bergamot and the citrus, the mandarin, I suppose, it's something where it's like, oh, I think I kind of smelled this before in a designer fragrance. And of course, Louis Vuitton is a luxury designer brand. But then once it dries down, you do have like this ambergris ginger combination that will remind people of Bulgari Tiger. And Bulgari Tiger came out a little bit before this one, if I'm remembering correctly, if I have my chronology right. But this one has a little bit more of that mass appealing opening, but it dries down to that unique spicy ambroxan ambergris kind of a dry down. So it's a great summertime fresh fragrance, but it's also a great office fragrance. Would you agree with that?
Oh yes, definitely wear it to the office. Couple sprays, and you know, people are gonna like the way you smell. You're gonna have a fragrance on that's safe, and people kind of don't think about that when they buy a fragrance. You want to buy it for yourself, number one. Yeah. Sure. Number two, you don't want a fragrance that's gonna affect people around work because you're going to the office every single day. And if you're a Mr. Cologne guy, chances are you might get in trouble for people in the front office or HR. You know, you want to be careful when you wear certain fragrances. You don't want to offend anybody.
I've heard some stories of people getting pulled into the office and lectured on their scents. So yeah, absolutely. With this one, I know it's the autumn now, right? So it's starting to get kind of chilly. It's in the 60s today. It's been in the 50s in previous weeks. And so this is one where despite the cooling temperatures, I still like to wear this one to work. I actually have been alternating between Bulgari Tiger, which smells similar to this one, but also Meteor by Louis Vuitton. And so one thing that I've noticed is that Louis Vuitton predominantly makes really nice, fresh, mass appealing, easygoing fragrances. And of course, the brand, I don't think they want to put out fragrances that are too dark, too daring, too challenging, because then it's going to turn off a large number of consumers. Because I think most of the people who walk into a Louis Vuitton boutique probably do so because they're eyeing some of their leather goods, not necessarily the fragrances. But while they're in the store, they're like, oh, they have perfumes, let's try some, right? So you want to make sure to appeal to the non-fragrance crazed crowd out there. You know, we're kind of the anomaly there. I know I typically don't do ratings on my channel, but you do.
Yes.
So if you had to put a number on this from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, what would you give it?
It's up there. I'll give it an 8.5. I would give it a 10, but the price point has went up. It's in that $280, so it's a lot of money. And everybody's going to have different performance on their skin. So please keep that in mind. I got about maybe 5 hours, maybe 6. Some people might get 7 or 8, might get less. So if it's going to be a longevity factor for you, you might want to test it out first. I think you should sample this fragrance at Louis Vuitton before blind buying it. But if you feel like you're okay with it, by all means, go ahead.
Absolutely, and performance is very important for a lot of people. One thing you'll notice about this one, with the overabundance of citrus in here, it's going to be very loud in the opening, be a little bit beyond an arm's length for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and that I'm basing that off of a decant that I've had. I've never owned a bottle of it. And then it's an elbows length scent right around hour 4, and right around hour 6.5 or 7, it becomes a skin scent. So it does have a pretty steady performance, but it's not the longest lasting fragrance. There are some from the brand like Ombre Nomade and Matière Noir. Those actually do a little bit better when it comes in the longevity department. I think I'm also gonna have to give you, what did you give this one? What did you score?
8.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm also gonna have to give it an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. I think it's definitely one of the more mass appealing fragrances. Le Mancite is also very easy to wear. Afternoon Swim, Meteor, these are all very bright, fresh, citrus-driven fragrances, and this is just a feel-good fragrance. It definitely puts me in a good mood every time I wear it, so I'm gonna give this one an 8.5 or a 9 if we're rounding off. So, Chris, thank you for being on the channel.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me on the channel. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, and thank you for bringing your bottle over so that we can do a video on it. I've been looking forward to reviewing this one for some time now. Once again, Chris's information is going to be down below. Definitely make sure to subscribe to him. If you learned something today, or if you took something of value from today's episode, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and click where it says enable all notifications. This way you'll never miss any of our daily uploads. Well, I upload daily, and Chris is also pretty consistent at that as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.